In this video, I will show you how to add constraints to your sketches in order to fully define them. I've created a couple sketches here in SolidWorks. You can see them highlighted as I hover over them. For the beginning part of this video, I'll focus on sketch 1. And in order to edit sketch 1, I need to click on it and hit Edit Sketch. And now you'll see that I'm in here where I can actually edit this sketch. I can sketch more things. I can edit the things that are already here. I want to orient you to this and show you that these green boxes symbolize different sketch relations or sketch constraints that are already applied to the sketch. If these boxes are not showing, if you haven't sketched anything, obviously they will not show. But if you have sketched things and you have applied constraints and they're not showing, if you come up to this tab up here, hit the drop down, this button will allow you to toggle that on and off to where you can see those. And so make sure it's on. Now, if I draw a line in this sketch and I get to where this line is nearly horizontal or is horizontal, that little box next to my cursor will pop up saying, basically, do you want this line to be horizontal? If I just let go like normal, it will automatically put a horizontal constraint onto this line. And that's what's happened with these ones that you already see here. Okay. But you can see the lines that I've drawn up at the top do not have that horizontal or vertical constraint. And that's because obviously they're not horizontal or vertical. I didn't even draw them close to horizontal or vertical. And so I'll show you how to apply those constraints after the fact. So in order to do that, I have to select the line. And there's a couple places I can go to apply those constraints. I can click up here, which says make vertical. Or for this line, I can come over here and hit horizontal. I could also, if I hover over it, click on that dialog that pops up when I click on it too. It's the same thing. 6 and 1, half dozen the other, the one that pops up or the one over here. Personally, I like the one over here better. And so you'll see me use that more often. So I just made this line horizontal, or sorry, this one horizontal and this one vertical. Now, if I want to make these lines perpendicular to each other, I have to select multiple things because I'm making one in relationship to the other. It's not here where I only selected the line and made the line horizontal, but here I'll be making this line perpendicular to this line. So I have to select both of them. So in order to do that, I select the one, I press and hold Control on my keyboard, and I select the other. And now there are lots of different options that I could do for these. And I said I want to make them perpendicular. So I'll come here and I'll select perpendicular. Now it doesn't mean they necessarily have to be touching, but no matter what, if I adjust the angle of one or move one around, it will always be perpendicular to the other. Now, I can also apply a parallel constraint. So if I select this one, press Control on the keyboard and hold it, and then select this one, I can apply a parallel constraint. And you'll notice it'll snap to parallel. And now wherever I go, wherever I move this one, it'll always be parallel to the other one. Okay. I can also apply a collinear constraint for both vertical and horizontal, or really any. I could apply collinear for lines that are not vertical or horizontal either. So the way that I do that is I select one, press Control, select the other, and press collinear. And then another way to accomplish the same thing is if I select endpoints on a line, and so I select the one, Control select the other, and I make those endpoints horizontal. It's the same thing as if I made those collinear. And then if I did that here, I'd have to make them vertical. So those are some of the basic ones with lines, and I encourage you to practice those. Now I want to apply an equal constraint. So equal is kind of nice because what it does, see how these circles are different sizes? It makes them so that they're all the same size. Now, I can do this one of two ways. I can either first add a dimension to one of the circles, so I'll do that. We'll call it 1/4 inch. Hit enter. And then I can select that circle and select the other one and hit equal, and it will make them both 1/4 inch, and that equal constraint will pop up. Now, another way to do this is I could select the two circles, like these two, and I could apply the equal constraint first, and then dimension it after the fact. So let's make this 1.5. And so you'll notice it works both ways. You can put the dimension on there first and then apply the constraint, or you can apply the constraint and then put the dimension on. And that also works for lines. If I wanted to make these lines equal in length, I could do the same thing here. Now, if I want to make something tangent, all I have to do is I have to select the two things I want tangent. So if I want this line to curve off without, causing this hump here, I select the line, press Control and select the arc, and then I select tangent. Okay. And if I want to merge 2 points, I want to select one point, select the other point, and I press merge. Easy enough. And then there's something called coincident, which is kind of like merge, but a little bit different. So in order to do that, I'll show you, you just select the point and the line that you want, and you make it coincident. So the difference between coincident and merge is merge works when you're trying to combine 2 points. So I had the endpoint of the line and the endpoint on the circle. So I had to hit merge. But coincident works when you're trying to combine things that are not the same. So like a point and a line, a point and an arc, a line and an arc. That's why you would have to use the coincident constraint. So now you can see what that one looks like too. So you can see all those constraints that I just applied help me to fully define the sketch. Now the sketch is still underdefined. There's still things I can do to define it, but they help me a little bit and bring me closer to having it fully defined. One more thing I want to show you is another function of tangent. Notice how this line continues off in an arc as a tangent arc. I could also do the same thing with full circles to a line. So I selected the circle, I press Control, I select the line, then I press tangent. So now that circle is just touching that line at one point.